Hi, I'm Saket, and I'm the co-chair of Outreach for SWE at UCI, and welcome back to SWE at UCI's YouTube channel.
Hi, I'm Liz, and I'm the other Outreach co-chair, and today we'll be asking a UCI computer engineering student 73 questions.
What is your name?
Taylor Tagami,
What is your major?
computer engineering with a minor in management,
Where are you from?
San Jose, California.
What degree are you pursuing?
Pursuing a bachelor's degree. After college, hopefully I'll graduate, but I'm looking just to get right into a full-time job.
What is your dream job?
I'm not really sure that I have a dream job, but more so, I hope to be in a role that helps the community around me and has a direct or indirect impact on the community.
Do you commute to UCI or do you live on campus?
I currently live off campus, but I'm only about like a 10-minute walk.
What has been your favorite class at UCI?
I want to say my favorite class is either Math 3A, which sounds really nerdy because linear algebra was kind of fun to do, or actually Asian American Studies 52. Even though it was kind of a difficult class, it was really fun and like interesting to learn about.
What has been your least favorite class at UCI?
Actually, EECS 112, which I took last quarter.
Who is your favorite engineering professor?
I would say either QV Dang or Professor Minjun Seo.
If you could pick up another minor or major at UCI, what would you choose?
If I were to choose another minor, it would have to be data analytics, just because this is such a new and like pretty well demanded subject of knowledge, and it's a really powerful tool, honestly.
Are you involved in research right now? And if so, can you explain it?
No, I am not involved in research.
Are you involved in a design project right now?
No, I am also not involved in a design project. Sorry to disappoint.
Have you had or do you currently have an on-campus job?
I never had an on-campus job before, and it'd be really cool. I was thinking of working at the ARC, but just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Have you had or do you have an internship right now?
So actually, I just recently accepted an offer as a systems engineering intern for Palo Alto Networks, which is a cybersecurity company. So I'll be starting summer 2021.
Where is your favorite spot on campus?
I'd want to say my favorite spot on campus has to be flagpoles, just because you either see like a dance team over there, or just like right nearby there's always people selling good food on Ring Road, and I don't know, I feel like it's just kind of like the center of like all the hustle and bustle, which I really like.
Where is your favorite spot to eat on campus?
Not gonna lie, I am a sucker for Subway sandwiches. I feel like I always got a BLT sandwich from Subway quite often with my ZotBots when I was a freshman. But yeah, Subway, eat fresh.
Where is your favorite spot to study on campus?
I feel like my favorite study spot has to be in random lecture halls that are empty. This is something that I did with my friends before, and not gonna lie, I got a lot of work done. Empty lecture halls.
If you could create a new class at UCI, what would it be?
If I were to create a new class at UCI, I would want to create an anime class. And we would just watch animes and give anime recs and just kind of talk about deeper meanings behind each of them. Because I feel like animes, like even though they're just 2D, there's a really a lot of depth that goes into making the story behind them.
What is something you hope to do in the future at UCI?
I mean, aside from graduating from UCI, I really hope to get a lot closer with my mentorship group, as I am a mentor with 3 mentees, so I definitely want to get closer with a lot of them.
Why did you choose UC Irvine?
I personally chose to come to UCI not only because it felt mostly like a second home to me when I was walking around the campus, but because of the engineering program and the price tag.
What is your favorite thing about UCI?
My favorite thing about UCI has to be the community. Everybody is just super nice around campus. Like, you can go up to anybody and literally just start a conversation, and they'll be so nice and like welcoming. And also Ring Road. I love the energy of Ring Road and all of the food that they sell.
What is your least favorite thing about UCI?
I want to say my least favorite thing about UCI is having to walk from one end of the campus to the next, and all of the different hills that you have to walk up, because I sweat easily, so I'm always like sweating when I get to class.
When did you know you wanted to study engineering?
I think I knew that I wanted to be an engineer when I hit maybe my third year of high school, because my dad's a mechanical engineer, so he's always been pushing for it. But for me, I was debating between either business or engineering, but I thought that engineering would honestly be kind of a safer bet, just because it's easier to transition from engineering to business if I decide that I don't like engineering, versus the other way around. It's really hard to go from business into engineering.
What got you interested in engineering?
Honestly, because my dad is a mechanical engineer, just seeing like the work that he does and the different people he gets to interact with, and the fact that he's able to build something physical that has like an impact on people's lives. I just thought that was a really great way of applying my skills.
Why did you choose your major?
This is a very unique story. Honestly, I was going down the list of all the majors, and I thought that computer engineering sounded kind of cool, so I clicked on it.
Can you briefly explain your major?
Okay, yeah, so computer engineering is basically a kind of double major. So I'd say it's a combination between electrical engineering and also computer science. But unlike CSE, which is computer science engineering, computer engineering takes more of the kind of hardware and like electrical engineering courses rather than the actual coding courses. So I'd say we have a stronger background in more like the electrical and like circuits and semiconductors.
Are you specializing within your major? And if so, what's your specialization?
So fun fact about computer engineering is that since we're basically already like a double major, we don't need to pick a specialization because we are special.
What clubs and activities are you involved in at UCI?
Okay, so obviously I am currently the academic chair of the Society of Women Engineers here at UC Irvine. I'm also a brother in Alpha Kappa Psi, which is a business professional fraternity, and then I'm also in Tomo no Kai, which is a Japanese cultural club, and I am considered an unki there, so it's kind of like I'm like the head of a group of people called a family.
Have you ever switched your major? And if so, why?
I switched my major once, and this was freshman year when I was going from undeclared engineering into computer engineering.
Did you come to UCI undeclared?
Yes and no, because I came in undeclared, but I was undeclared within the School of Engineering. So not just like regular undeclared, it was like engineering undeclared.
What is something you wish you could tell your high school self?
Don't be scared to say yes a lot more often than you've been saying. Taking that little step outside of your comfort zone is definitely going to be worth it.
What is something you would tell high school students interested in engineering?
To all my high school students that are interested in engineering, I would definitely recommend getting involved in some type of club that has to do, like robotics, or, signing up for like all these different college programs that have you doing some like hands-on experience. Like I did a program with San Jose State University where they were allowed students to come just kind of do different workshops so that it can kind of help you choose when you're applying to college which specific major of engineering you want to go into.
How do you like to take notes in class?
So I take notes with this bad boy in class. I find that going paperless is just a lot more helpful. All my notes are in one place. I don't have a bunch of different notebooks. I use Notability, so it's super handy.
What is one thing that surprised you about UCI?
One thing that surprised me about UCI is that there's actually a lot of international students. Like my dorm mate from freshman year, she's actually an international student from Japan. So it's really interesting to get to learn about their experiences compared to ours.
What is one thing that surprised you about your major?
How difficult it is to get some classes, because as a computer engineer, they don't give us priority for some computer engineering classes. So I feel like that surprised me most.
Have you ever studied abroad? And if so, where? If not, where would you like to study abroad?
no, I have never studied abroad before, but I feel like it'd be my dream to go study abroad in Japan or Korea.
Have you been to one of the career fairs before?
Yes, I've actually been to the STEM career fair. I went this fall and I actually landed an interview with a company. So definitely go to STEM career fairs if you are interested in kind of getting experience with networking.
How are engineering classes online for you?
Engineering classes are definitely more difficult online just because a lot of them do require kind of like hands-on experience. But I feel like I've been managing.
What is one tip you would give for taking classes online?
This is a tip that I should probably take myself, but put your phone away. Put your phone in a different room. It's really tempting to look at it, but just put it away. Put it away.
What is one tip you would give to an incoming student in your major?
I would say definitely be close with your TAs, and I don't mean, kissing up to them, but, if you need help, go ask your TAs. I feel like the TAs are probably your first step in getting help in the actual course. Or even talking to your professors more, because if you want to get involved with research, professors, TAs, I feel like these will be kind of your biggest help.
Where do you like to go off campus during your free time?
I'm not really sure if this counts as like off campus, but I really do like going to the Arc with my friends. I do play basketball, so we'd go play pickup sometimes. Or even recently, now that the Arc is kind of like closed, I use their outdoor gym setup and I do the F45 classes.
Have you ever been inside the Infinity Fountain?
Have I ever been inside the Infinity Fountain? No. Do I plan on it? No.
Do you like to go to UCI sporting events?
I feel like I've never been to a UCI sporting event, but I wouldn't mind going. It never really occurred to me to go.
Do you have a favorite boba place near UCI?
My favorite boba place near UCI, honestly, I feel like Tasty is a really safe bet to go to. But if we want to do something a little bit more fancy, I would definitely recommend the Alley.
Have you ever ordered from the ZotBots before?
No, I have never ordered from ZotBots before, but the little robots that roll around campus, I think they're the cutest.
Have you ever fallen asleep in class before?
Yes, don't tell my mom.
What is one misconception you had about your major?
I feel like the biggest misconception, I guess I want to say just about engineering in general, is that we can't socialize. I feel like I've met so many sociable and really outgoing people in engineering. We're not all just like quiet and like stay inside and like study. I mean, like, yeah, we do, but we can talk. We're fun people.
Why did you choose this major over other similar majors?
I chose computer engineering over a lot of other majors. Like, I know my dad was mechanical, but for me, I know that being able to have a lot of coding experience, that's really powerful nowadays. But I also thought that learning about circuits is a lot interesting as well. And then computer engineering was just perfect because boom, it combined the two. So I was like, why not get the best of both worlds and just kind of get experience in both?
How difficult was it to choose your major?
I feel like it wasn't that difficult just because I'm pretty go with the flow. So, I mean, as I said earlier, I was just kind of, well, this seems kind of cool. So I just kind of like clicked on it. So it really wasn't that hard for me.
If you could change one thing about UCI, what would change?
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't really know what to change about UCI. There isn't really enough things that I dislike about UCI. But maybe giving us back our 3-week break, winter break.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate UCI's food?
I mean, the food in the food courts is good, but if we're talking about like the dining commons, I would want to say when I was living in Mesa Towers, the Ant Eatery was so mediocre. So, but I couldn't be mad because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like amazing. So I'd give it like a 5. Except on days where they had pasta, that's like a 10.
Which on-campus library do you prefer?
Again, I feel like I'm not really that adventurous, and I've only been to Langston, so I'm just gonna be Langston.
Do you prefer morning, afternoon, or evening classes?
It's definitely going to be the morning or early afternoon classes, just because I can go to class and then I have the rest of the day to be productive and do whatever I want. I feel like whenever I have a class that's like in the evening, I just kind of feel like stressed and like I didn't do enough that day.
Do you have a favorite spot to sit in class?
Just not in the very front, but anywhere with my friends is completely fine with me.
What range of units do you prefer to take per quarter?
I mean, optimally, I would love to take 12 units a quarter, but for computer engineers, that is non-existent. You have to take 16.
What has been your hardest major class at UCI?
I want to say my hardest major class had to be EECS 112, which I took last quarter. I feel like the professor, and like his teaching style and the way that I learn, it just didn't really mix that well. Even though like I did all of the readings, I still really struggled in that class. So I feel like that one has to be the hardest one I've ever taken.
What's been your easiest class at UCI?
Easiest class I've taken for my major has to be ICS 6B. Professor Gasco has iClicker questions, but you could not do any of the iClicker questions and still get an A in her class. So,
What has been a challenging aspect of your college experience?
definitely, I struggled with imposter syndrome for a little bit. I still do now. It's just kind of hard to compare yourself to all these people that have either like better internships than you, they're just doing better in school, or they seem like they know that they have it all together and they know what's going on in class. I'd say that's definitely my biggest struggle so far.
What's something you wrote about in your UC college applications?
I actually don't know what I wrote for my UC applications. That's like so long ago. I'm like old now. I was not that exciting though. I will say that. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't all like, oh, it'll make these readers cry. Like, no, I'm pretty average.
What resources do you like to use to choose your classes?
So to choose my classes, I definitely look at the 4-year plan that the School of Engineering kind of gives out. So I just kind of have an idea of what classes I need to take. And then from there, I use Rate My Professor to look at the different professors. And usually as a computer engineer, it's kind of sad, but you only have one option. And that professor is who you have to take. So Rate My Professor is kind of useless, but we still use it anyways. And then and Almanac, I use that to kind of lay out my schedule.
How would you describe the UCI community?
I would describe the UCI community as being really loving, friendly, and overall outgoing.
Is UCI or engineering in particular competitive?
Engineering at UCI is competitive, but I will say that it is not cutthroat. So instead of like some other schools, UCI's engineering community is actually really caring. So if I need help, somebody is willing to help me. And the key word there is willing, and they want to help. So that's what I really appreciate about the competitiveness and also caringness of engineering.
What do you like or dislike about the quarter system?
It's a love-hate with the quarter system. It's either midterm season or final season, and that's what I really just dislike.
What do you like to do during study breaks?
During my study breaks, I'm either doing some type of like laundry, housework, cooking, or just on my phone watching some TikToks.
Are you currently taking classes right now?
Yes.
What classes are you taking right now?
So in winter quarter, I will be taking EECS 112L, so it's the lab, EECS 114, EECS 170B, and EECS 170LB, as well as an upper division management course.
What class are you looking forward to taking in the future?
I'm really looking forward to taking the embedded systems course that I think is an elective for computer engineering. I don't know, I feel like it's more actually like real world applicable, so I'm excited to kind of learn about something that I could be doing one day as a career.
What is one on-campus resource that has helped you a lot during your time at UCI?
I wouldn't really call it a campus resource, but more like campus organizations. I feel like most of my growth and help has really come from the organizations that I've joined here at UCI.
What is your favorite memory at UCI?
I don't have one specific memory, but I feel like I definitely made the best memories my freshman year in the dorms.
Who is a fellow engineer or engineering student who inspires you?
This is gonna get a little bit mushy, but I definitely feel our very own sweet president, Miss Lily, she definitely inspires me just because she's involved in so much and she has so much on her plate that she's already kind of having to deal with, but she still has so much like energy and care for the people around her, and I see how much effort she puts into kind of maintaining and keeping up with all her different relationships. So I super appreciate Lily, and honestly, I aspire to be her.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Taylor.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
Make sure to subscribe to stay tuned to our latest videos.